Hello everybody, welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing a profile of a Centurion Superheavy Samurai build that I took to my most recent locals. Went X1 with a very swift loss to Tenpai with two very unfortunate hands with some one-of brick cards that aren't ideal to draw. But that is kind of the Centurion experience and is also kind of why I built the deck, so a little bit ironic that was the loss, but the logic with this deck being is that we add consistency with the super heavy samurai cards, and yes, it does trade off a little bit in kind of like the non-engine you can run, but also you do have to kind of add some more brick cards with the super heavies. So it was just a thought experiment really, and the deck itself is not terrible. This is currently a 50 card build. I don't necessarily like 50. I think 45 could be ideal, but there is an added increase to the, like I said, the brick cards, but also the consistency though is increased in the other way because you're adding a bunch more one card starters as well. So I'll run through the list really quick and I'll just show a quick combo. But the deck was a lot of fun. The Tenpai experience not too fantastic, but on 3 Primera, 3 Trudea, 1 Atri, 1 Gargoyle. The Centurion lineup is going to look fairly normal, so 3 Oath, 3 stand up, a wake up, a bonds. I played 1 bonfire as a kind of like a thrust target, just to make up 50. I just didn't like that idea. Like 49 just sounds weird, so I threw in 1 bonfire. And then there's terraforming and phalanx as the kind of Centurion portion of the deck. Then for the super heavy samurais, we're playing 3 Wakaushi, 3 motorbikes. So these are both 1 card combos. You can do like normal Centurion things, but then you can do crazy Centurion things with this as well. The Big Bankai. This is where it's going to look different to a normal Centurion and a super heavy samurai build. So we're kind of adding these. So these 3 are all obviously unideal draws. But what is cool about them is that normally you'd play the other level 4 guy that you can equip and special summon. So you're playing 1 additional instead of that 1 samurai soul card. But this is a little bit different. I think probably in hindsight, like if you were to take this more seriously, I'd probably have to add that as well as another card just for that flexibility, I guess. But because you normal summon this. This is a normal summon. But what the trade-off is yes, you normal summon this, but you also set up your scales so that if you do open a Centurion normal summon, you can just pendulum summon it out. So the cool thing about this is that we gain the pendulum summon as an additional push. If it's needed. So that is, I find it interesting. I'm playing the Bestials. I don't know if I'd necessarily play this like long term. I'd probably just cut this for more non-engine, or you could even like increase bonfire just for more consistency if you want to. And then I'm playing just 3 other Bestials and a regained. And then we're playing a bunch of hand traps as well. Because we kind of have to play monster based non-engine with the samurai cards. So Nib, Ash, Ogre, Droll, Vela. Not having Imperm for this build is unfortunate, but something you have to do. But obviously that's 15 there, plus your 3 Bestials is 18 hand traps. In a 50 card, like you don't open as much necessarily, but yeah, we could definitely take like the 3 Libellion and change that. We could add like Kashtira cards, for example, because they're actually pendulum summonable within the scales, which is actually not a bad idea, just even thinking about it now. For the extra deck, it's pretty standard. So it's just the Geisha Auxilia, the 2 Primera Primus, the 2 Blazer, the Crimson Dragon, of course, Chaos Angel, Bestial Dispater, Typhon, and then we've got SP, IP, Almirage, and Magistus, just to make SP. So that's the extra. That's all very standard stuff. You don't need any samurai specific pieces for this to kind of operate. And then just for a quick side deck, I was playing 3 Perulia, 3 Phantasme, Cosmic Cyclone, Thrust, and then just some kind of decent thrust targets in Talons and the 2 trap cards. But that's the list, and then I'll show the combo that I find the combo awesome. I think the combo is crazy, but obviously it definitely loses to interruption, of course, but we'll just show how kind of high the ceiling increases, or how much it increases with the samurai cards. Okay, so this is going to be a 1-card combo with Wakashi. Obviously I've got some other cards here just for discards, but it's going to start off with Wakashi in the scale, using its effect to summon itself, place Benkei. Then we're going to use Benkei effect to search for the Soul Piercer. We'll normal summon the Soul Piercer, and we're going to go for a Synchro Summon into Primera Primus. We're going to get Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, and Chainlink 3 Wakashi. So Wakashi is going to complete the scale. Soul Piercer is going to search for Motorbike. If you open Motorbike instead of Wakashi, we can skip that step and we can just go straight for scales. But then we're also going to get the Emblema off Primera Primus. We can then pitch Motorbike to grab scales. These are 2 cards we want. Now, what we're going to do is we've got a Pendulum Summon available to us now, which is great for opening any like Centurion names and things like that if we need that as an additional kind of push forward. But we've got, Emblema as well. So we're going to go for Emblema now. We're going to use the Emblema to place Primera. Obviously this is going to Centurion lock us while we've got Primera available. So we'll summon out Primera. Going to search for Stand Up, which we'll activate. Discard one of our additional cards in hand to place Trudea. Trudea can summon, pull itself back to place Gargoyle, who we're going to summon out as an 8. So now we can take these 2, because again we're Centurion locked. Take those 2 and summon Auxilla. We're going to get Auxilla Chainlink 1, Gargoyle Chainlink 2. Gargoyle will come back to the hand, and Auxilla is going to search for Wake Up Centurion. We'll go ahead and fire off Wake Up Centurion, and we're summoning a level 4 token. So now what we're going to do is use the level 4 token and Primera Primus. That's just that. Into Crimson Dragon, which we tag out, of course, into Cosmic Blazer. So this means that everything else is kind of established, and we can do it this way. I mean, there's ways to do it the other way too with the Samurai, if we like lead with the Pendulum Summon and the Scales, but it's much for muchness. We'll do it this way. I think it does actually tweak the endboard a little bit, but we'll just, for the sake of just this video, we're just going to show this variant first. And certainly this, I will say, is that this kind of build is very much like theory. I have taken it to locals just to kind of see how it performs. I know it was okay. Just there's obviously a lot of extra bricks that you have to play in the deck, so that's why you've got to play a higher deck count. But now what we'll do is we will Pendulum Summon. So we can Pendulum Summon out the Scales. Now Scales is great because it doesn't require spells and traps to be around, and obviously we've got spells and traps in the graveyard. So the Scales is going to summon back the Motorbike, which is important because we've got another tuner available to us now as well. We're going to banish Wake Up Centurion to send Phalanx, and we're going to banish off the Phalanx to bring back the Primera Primus. So now, and this is where I'll show the board. We're going to take these 2, so level 4 and level 8, and we're going to turn those into Locatia. So we'll get a draw. So draw into just any kind of random card, hand trap, etc. This obviously is helpful for the end phase as well, setting back Centurion names, because we're actually going to get rid of one of them now, which is going to be Trudea. We're going to get rid of Trudea to summon out the Gargoyle from the hand. And then we've got 8 and a 2. Now this is an Earth, so obviously we can't make the Chaos Angel, but we can... Oh no, sorry, actually that's a lie. We actually can make Chaos Angel, sorry, it's not just Lights and Darks. We can make Chaos Angel, but we can also make Bestial Dissipator. So I like making Dissipator. Dissipator needs a non-tuner dragon, which of course that's what Gargoyle is. And we can use those for Dissipator as well. Now, the Dissipator effect is not live as a negate, it's live as a pop. Because we've got Wake Up and the Phalanx both banished, but also recycling these is not terrible. So gaining access to them for like turn 3 is, fine if we need them. Obviously, if we're getting this far into the combo, then like really we should be winning, unless our opponent is on some like really just oppressive board breakers. But even still, like we're going to be setting back 2 Centurion monsters, so like it should be pretty hard pressed to beat, but it's definitely a much higher ceiling than what your standard Centurion combo would be. Then when we go to the end phase, we're going to place both the Primera. I generally like to place the Gargoyle here, only because the Gargoyle just comes back to the hand as an additional card. when it's used as a synchro summon. Obviously the True Day just ends up in the graveyard. Maybe it doesn't really matter because like these guys can reset them if they're still around. But the other thing that you could definitely consider in a deck like this is something like Hermetic Seals. Now again, probably just they can win more potentially, but like if you did access Lubellion, which gave you access to Branded Regained, there's definitely a world where I would just I wouldn't summon this up in the EMZ, but we would definitely go for like whatever bestial will be summoned to get access to Lubellion and Regained, take it in Dissipator and make seals, just as something else you can do. Obviously Regained can then pull back the Dissipator, but Hermetic Seals is definitely something that you could play in Centurion regardless. I think it's a decent, well, it's obviously a very strong card. And in that Punk Centurion build that I posted a little while ago, definitely Seals was a kind of a bit of a feature in that as well. But this is the combo. I mean, I think the combo is crazy, but whether it's useful for the extra kind of steps and cards you have to include, there's a couple of extra brick cards, but there's also a lot more consistency in that you get these, 6 starters in the Motorbike and the Wakaushi that just allow you to play. Plus, I think the Pendulum Summon is maybe not something to scoff at either, just because one issue I have sometimes with Centurion is just opening up too many of the monsters when the monsters don't do anything on their own, really. If you have too many of them, like you can only make use of one, really. Like sure, pitching one for stand-up is fine, but having a multitude of monsters is annoying, and that's where like having the Pendulum Scale as an option is, I find it's just cool nonetheless. But that's the combo. I think it's crazy, like I said. Recycling the spells and traps with Dissipator, pretty cool as well. And this just goes into another Blazer. So like you've got 2 Blazars on the end board there as well. Obviously you could summon the Geisha again for a pop, another draw, but we've still got 4 cards in hand. They could be hand traps, non-engine, whatever. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Let me know what you think, and I'll catch you in the next one.